So this chapter is on 2C, the perimeter and area of a rectangle. In this chapter, we have 3 skills. Number 1, how to calculate the perimeter of a rectangle, how to calculate the area of a rectangle, and how to calculate the area and perimeter of an irregular shape. So first of all, you need to know the differences between the words perimeter and area. So a perimeter is the total area, the total space around the outside of the shape. So pretend we have this green field, and in this green field we have a little dog that's just running around happily wagging its tail, and say we want to keep it contained in the field. So we have to build a fence along the perimeter. So this blue part is the perimeter. This is what goes around the shape. The area is the total space within, which is inside the shape, which is the green part. It's the grassy patch. So that's the difference between perimeter and area. The other difference is that when we see numbers, perimeter is always labeled as a single unit. So for example, it could be 3 meters, or 4 centimeters, or 8 kilometers. Area is always measured in square units. For example, 3 meters squared, or 4 kilometers squared, or 8 centimeters squared. Another way to say it is 3 square meters, 4 square kilometers, 8 square centimeters. As long as you have the word square involved, we are always talking about area. If there's no square, it's just a single unit, it's always perimeter. So perimeter of a rectangle is, like we said, is the space around the shape. So here we have a rectangle. If you know what to do, go ahead and pause the video. Otherwise, keep listening. So we want to find the amount of space around the outside of the shape. Given that this is a rectangle, we have a rule. We know rectangles have two sets of equal sides. The one across from it will always be equal. So now that you have this information, can you pause and find the perimeter of the rectangle? Okay, so across from 6 centimeters, this side is also 6 centimeters. Across from 4 centimeters, we know this side is also 4 centimeters. So to find the perimeter, you could have written 6 plus 6 plus 4 plus 4, which equals 20 centimeters. You could have also taken a shortcut and said 6 times 2, and you put this in brackets because you're indicating I need to multiply these two sides together. I need to multiply this to make sure I double the value of 6, plus 4 times 2, and that would make 12 plus 8, which happens to make 20 centimeters. You could have also written this as 6 plus 4 times 2, which makes 10 plus 2, which makes 20 centimeters. So there's a lot of different ways of writing this. As long as you have the answer of where the perimeter is equal to 20 centimeters. Area of a rectangle. So like I talked about, it's the idea of the space on the inside. So we visualize this as a series of squares. So if it's 6 centimeters, that means we have 6 columns going straight down. If it's 4 centimeters tall, that means we have 4 rows going across. So the area is asking you how many of these little squares fit inside this rectangle. So that's one way you could do it, where you draw your grid and you count it. Another way to do it is simply to go 6 times 4 which makes 24 centimeters squared. And finally, the area and perimeter of irregular shapes. So here you have a shape that is composed of two rectangles. You need to find the area and the perimeter. So why don't you go ahead and give it a try and pause the video at this time and see what happens. So if we look closely, we have a 3, a 7, a 5, a 2, but then we have two sides where we actually do not know the measure. But this is what we do know. We know that if this part is 3 centimeters long, and if we keep going straight down it to fill out this rectangle, that this missing mysterious part has to be 2 meters. And if we were to extend this red line across all the way, we know that that whole thing would be 7 meters. So if we know this whole part in green is 7 meters, that means the part that we want right here has to be 5. So now that you know all your missing information, let's proceed to find the perimeter. So be careful to make sure you add all the numbers. So I'd like to write it out and check every number. 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5. And then I'll just double check that I have every number. 3, yep. 7, yes. 5, yes. 2, yes. 2, yes, and a 5. Okay, good. I have all my 6 numbers. Let's add. So 3 plus 7 plus 5, that's 15. Plus another 5, that's 20, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Wait, no, that is not correct. That actually is 24 meters. And there you go. So now we actually have to work on area. So as you recall, we know this part is 5, we know this is 2. So we're just keeping that information there in case we need it. So what you have to do is break it apart into smaller pieces. So with this line dividing the shapes, I'm going to go ahead and go with this. I'm going to pull this shape off to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this shape off to the side. Keep in mind, nothing overlaps. So I know that this is 5 long, and it's 3 tall. So the area is my base times my height, which is just simply 5 times 3, which makes 15 meters squared. Okay, so this part is 15 meters squared. Now I know that this is 2 meters wide. I know that this is 5 meters tall. So my area is 5 times 2, which makes 10 meters squared. So now, together, because we want to know the whole shape, we add them. 15 plus 10, which makes 25 meters squared. That's it.